What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we are on the test server here, so thank you Plarium for allowing us access. And in today's video, we will be playtesting the epic champion that's part of the ongoing Lysanthir fusion. Now, a lot of you guys are not a big fan of the Lysanthir champion and obviously not doing the fusion. My general advice is basically, I usually advise people to go for fusions even if they don't seem very good immediately. There's always some value in these champions. So Lysanthir is currently active in the game. He's a decent champion. He brings some very important debuffs to places like Hydra. He does have a bit of a gimmicky kit where he gets boosted damage from Hydra, and he has a passive that helps against life barrier. But these are pretty conditional boosts, so you have to take him at face value with his decreased speed, weaken. He does bring a little bit of damage and a little bit of hex support here from his A1, but overall not a super important champion for most people. But the epic that comes along with the Lysanthir fusion actually is very, very good. And I think if you guys are doing the fusion, the least you guys can do is pick up the epic in this fusion. Now, it is a fragment epic, so you can hold on to it for basically as long as you want. It is a void epic as well, and it's going to be from the skinwalkers here. Let's see, Yuzan the Marooned. Yuzan the Marooned, he's a really cool looking rhino character. He's a void epic. Like I said, guys, make sure you guys pick him up if you guys are, kind of just sitting out the fusion and all that. We're going to be playtesting him here a little bit, and I fully expect him to perform very, very well and definitely worth just keeping around. You guys can hold him in the portal for as long as you want until you need to summon him, but I think he's going to be useful, especially for faction wars. So if you guys are progressing through the Skinwalkers faction wars, he's going to be massive. And for the hard version of Faction Wars to come, he might actually be very, very good there as well. Let's check out this kit here real quick. A1 single target hit as it transfers debuff from this champion to the target. Just one random debuff, but also brings a heal to himself for 10% of his max HP. His base HP is not, super insane, but he is an epic champion. Keep that in mind. His A2 here is an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. Has a 100% chance when fully booked of removing 2 random buffs from the enemy, so a buff strip. Which is always very, very solid. It also heals this champion by 10% of the max HP for each buff removed. So if you remove 2, he gets a 20% heal here, which can be significant. And then his A3 here, 4-turn cooldown, is a very, very soft cleanse followed by a big heal and then a block debuff. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. It's not an impressive move by itself, but it's pretty good in terms of synergizing with the rest of his kit. Lots of healing in his kit, and his passive wraps it all up in a bow in terms of kit synergies. Whenever this champion heals themselves using a skill, so keep that in mind, skill only, no sets. Also heals his allies by 20% of the surplus heal. So if he's at max health, he's going to basically heal your whole team by surplus heal. So, and no cooldown on this, so it can just happen all the time. So as long as he takes a turn, effectively his whole kit will just heal everybody on your team significantly. Resistance in all battles, not that important of all that. HP based support champion, I think he is very good. He's definitely made for pulling your team through content. He can be good in places like Bommel or Doomtar bosses. Against Eternal Dragon, when you're locked out, he can still overheal and then heal up your team. So very, very good there. But yeah, let's gear him out. Let's put him in some content that I think is relevant for you guys, and we'll see exactly how good he is. All right, guys, let's first test them out in this kind of generic progress team here. So we got the, Reviver. He's in a stun set just to help out Mighty Uko here. We got Lydia for decreased defense. You can bring any decreased defense if you want. We got an AoE damage dealer here with Skull Crown. We have the healer, and then we have Ninja, somebody to deal with the boss. I can show you guys the builds on everybody after the runs, just to show you guys that it's not all crazy stuff. But yeah, we can have a quick look here and see what's happening. So he automatically places the block debuff first. I think that's pretty standard. Let's let the team go on full auto. It's not like super speed tune or anything. I just want to simulate what it's actually like to, just have kind of like a progression team here. Obviously, some of these champions can be replaced. Yeah, you notice that he does heal up there. It's pretty nice. He is at full HP, so all the surplus heal is going to keep everybody going. We have a little bit of control here with the stun set Uko and the freeze from the ninja, but for the most part, we're gonna have him do all the healing. We're gonna have him do all the cleansing here, and yeah, he's just great support champion. It's probably really easy to keep him fully topped up. You just have to give him a healing set. He doesn't really require accuracy. That's probably makes him pretty easy to build out. He does require accuracy to do the strip. That's the thing. So if you have a very tough wave that needs the strip to happen, then you probably need to add like an accuracy banner on him just in case. But right now I do have him with a little bit of accuracy so that he is, kind of more in a generalist build. And I'll show you guys the builds on everybody after everything's done, like I said. So we reached the boss in a minute 26. This is normal difficulty, normal 24, but you guys can tell by the gear, it's not going to be anything insane. But it's just kind of like a standard solid team. It's a solid team and can handle the dragon without too many issues here. We have a reviver, we have AoE DPS, we have control, and then we have lots of healing and support from Yuzan here. So Yuzan being very, very good. Obviously, the animations make it seem like he's not going to be the quickest. He's not going to be part of like the fastest speed teams ever. But yeah, he's looking pretty solid right now. I love the placing the block debuffs. That's actually really, really good. See, there's the cleanse with the block debuffs. It's really good. I mean, it's on an epic champion as well. And it pairs along really well with the rest of his kit. So there we go. We got the heal. Everybody's topped up again. In no danger at all. And we're going to be finishing this up here. We can definitely optimize it to be a little bit faster, but there we go. We did have one brimstone on the team for the mighty Uko, so he's going to pitch in a little bit of damage, speed up the run a little bit, and so forth. And then obviously ninja for the dragon kill. But Yuzan doing, look at that healing, guys, 765k of healing. Very, very solid. All right, let's hop off the dungeons. Let's head to faction wars, which is basically where I think he's going to shine really, really well. So we're going to do stage 21 here. I'm going to put together like a pretty pedestrian team here. Again, we got the mighty Uko here. We got Wukong, which is a free login champion at some point, promo code and all that. So probably more accessible to most people. Akentum, honestly, Akentum can be anybody. I just had Akentum kind of ready and I haven't really showcased him too much. So I'm like, okay, fine, we'll just use him. He could be any DPS. He could be Fane. But I chose like an AoE damage dealer, so Akentum. And then I've used Gnarhorn, again, accessible rare. He's a little bit of control just to protect Akentum and Yuzan behind him. But honestly, we have Mighty Uko as well for the Reviver. So if you didn't have the Reviver like Mighty Uko, having somebody like Gnarhorn is more important. The other Reviver that's really good is the Hippo. The Hippo is actually really good. So if you guys got the Hippo, you guys don't need Mighty Uko. But of course, Mighty Uko is going to be better. He's a legendary. He has the AoEs. And then put him in a stun set. Very good. So we're going to let this run out. And yeah, like I said, I'll show you guys the stats after. Make sure that there's no crazy funny business going on. And these guys are not just, geared to the ceilings. You guys can kind of tell there's not going to be like insane single hit blowouts on these waves, so you guys can kind of tell the damage is not insane. My Wukong still geared decently. I would imagine that most people can probably hit his stats, or give or take a little bit. But Wukong, you just gear him up for damage. You guys can check out the stats after, like I said. Let's see how we do against the boss. We're gonna get there pretty quick here. The block buffs are very, very nice. My guys are all 60s. You guys can definitely get away by doing 50s, but this is kind of how it is if you guys gear out for 60s, right? When you guys do 60s and masteries, then you guys are gonna get better performance in faction wars. But yeah, you guys can definitely get away with 50s if needed. So Yuzan, there we go. We got the debuff transfer. That's what happened with this A1, pretty nice. And of course the overheal. Healing everybody else as well. There's the overheal again, healing up everybody a little bit. And that's just from the A1. When we get the big heals out, there's the big heal with the cleanse. Very nice. Everybody at full heal with the block debuffs. Very good against the boss. Yeah, we're not doing crazy damage here, but we are slowly chipping away. Very nice block debuffs there, protecting against the debuffs from the boss, and also the provoke from the ads too. Very nice. All right, there's the heal again. Everybody's already topped up. I guess a Kentum was not, but there's more debuffs there. He just did the HP swap, so now it's just a DPS race to the end. Block debuffs out again. Cleanse working really well. I mean, the only time where that level of cleanse, where removing 2 debuffs is not enough, is kind of when you're playing like PvP. But you're not going to use them in PvP. In PvE, removing 2 debuffs is usually enough. Usually enough. Unless you're playing Amius and stuff, and then he does like some buff swap, and then you're like loaded up with debuffs. Like, then that's not enough. But usually 2 debuffs is sufficient. Look at all the poisons. Look at Kentum. Kentum's going crazy. Kentum's going crazy there. All right, let's go. Almost there. Almost there. He already did the health swap, so no saving this guy. And then we got the Reaper there at the end. 2 minutes and 42. I mean, honestly, no sweat. It's no sweat. Yeah, I can show you guys exactly what I'm working with here, so you guys know it's not too crazy. And I'm not fully pulling your chain here. So let's take a look at what I'm working with here. So we got the Mighty Uko. Like I said, he is in a stun set. I don't have any faction bonuses. Okay, faction wars bonuses. So keep that in mind. So no areas here. So yeah, he's 233 speed. I think that's pretty reasonable. 245 accuracy in a stun set. Yeah, I took off some gear to make it happen. It doesn't have anything crazy. He has Brimstone. He has War Master. And Mighty Uko just, he's crazy as a Faction Wars champion. Here is my Wukong. He is in 6-piece Merciless. Like I said, if you have Savage gear, you're going to put your nukers in Savage gear by this point in the game. 188 speed. He's not even crit capped. He's got 260 accuracy. He's got a little bit of crit damage as well. A little bit of attack. Yeah, I mean, he has Reaper. He has a 4-star Reaper. Helm Smasher as the masteries here. I just made it happen with the 6-piece here. You definitely, if you have a 25% ignore defense or instinct set for 20%, he's still going to work just as well. So moving on here, I'm going to show you guys the Yuzan the Marooned. He is in a regen set. And the reason why I put him in a regen set is like obvious. Your support champions go in regen to keep themselves alive. Second, he double benefits because the more often times he is full on health, the more often he will max heal your whole team. So having a healing set on him, you know, just makes total sense. Total stats here, just over 200 speed, 56 accuracy. Like I said, you can totally cut out his accuracy. It's not super necessary in PvE content. Obviously, it's going to be useful in some areas. You only really need it to remove buffs once in a while. And usually it's not too often, but having it on makes it so that he is more of a generalist, so I don't have to swap gear around. For example, if you want to build him up like this, no crazy relics, no crazy blessings. Honestly, mastery is not really super high value on him. I took a bunch of healing masteries. I took Spirit Haste because there's nothing really else that he benefits from. And I took extra HP. The other thing you can go for is War Master to help out for some damage. So if you're really lacking damage, especially against the boss, taking War Master might be better. I think maybe at that point you probably forego the defense tree and then maybe go down the War Master. But honestly, he might be a candidate where masteries are not really needed. He doesn't benefit massively. Like, you get a bit more heals, you get a bit more heal here, a bit more survivability, but you don't really benefit massively from masteries on him. Of course, fully booked. If you can afford avoid 4 books into his A1, massive win for you. Yeah, get this down and then get this down and then you're good. But it's going to be hard to avoid the 4 books in here. Another build you can possibly go for, but I didn't really want to go too deep into it just for, you know, progression account's sake, would be like Relentless set. If he has Relentless, he can basically just spam heals all the time. But for, I think, general content for progression, I think a regen set makes sense. Like I said, you can forego accuracy if you need to. Just get him in a good regen set. You know, a little bit faster is fine, but not too insanely fast. Like I said, 200 speed, 200 accuracy, and just good HP. I'll show you guys the other champions I was using here. Here's my Gnarhorn, you know, 193 speed. Enough accuracy to do his thing, but, yeah, he's not really super needed for anything. No masteries. Here's my ninja. Again, it's just a regeneration ninja, so you can fight against the boss. 200 speed, 250 accuracy. HP is a little bit high. I can take off the accessories and stuff like that, but he was in no danger of dying at all. Nothing crazy. I got Nature's Wrath and War Master on him. Lydia, 200 speed, 240 accuracy, good HP, but honestly I could take this off as well. The protection set doesn't really matter at this point. War Master, cruelty, no crazy relics. Here's my Skull Crown, less than 200 speed. She is crit capped with no ignore defense, only 5% from the cruel set. So I mean, maybe Skull Crown looks more like your champion as you're progressing through this level of content, and that's about it. So hopefully I showed you guys in this video that Yuzan can be very, very useful in kind of mediocre like gear teams. He can be a full support. You can just 60 him and just leave the masteries behind. I think is totally fine. Books make a big deal, but the A1 doesn't need to be booked. And I think he's going to be great. I mean, especially if you're trying to move through 21 up to 21 normal faction wars, he's going to be great. He's going to be a huge, massive help, especially if you don't have Hippo, if you don't have Mighty Uko, massive help. And of course, for future faction wars, this guy could be massive as well. So definitely pick yourselves up a copy. He is an epic void. So you can save him for a champion chase and pull him there for 350 points as well. Would I empower him instead of getting the legendary? No, of course I would go for the legendary because it's less likely that you'll get the legendary ever relative to a void epic. Of course, there's no guarantee, right, when you have to get a champion. But if you guys are not going for the fusion, I strongly recommend picking up a copy of this guy and just holding him until a champion chase so you guys get some additional value. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know what you guys think about Yuzan here. He's a great little champion, a good little fusion piece with a nice kit that kind of wraps up his kit really, really nicely, especially for skinwalkers as well. That faction needs some help sometimes. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think and how you guys doing on the fusion and all that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.